Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Captain James Force. I am here with the awesome tutor, and this is the UHL Spring Series 2023 Playoffs Finals. We have three teams vying for the victory today. We're going to start with Durham Defenders versus Fire Team Leeds, and BCU is waiting in the final. But tutor, we're back. It's more UHL. How are you, mate?
Really great to be back. It kind of did sneak up on me a little bit this entire broadcast, but hey, we're here. We're at the very end of the spring series, and yet again, we have another champion to crown by the end of tonight's festivities. It's going to be super duper fun. Always happy to be on board for just more action-packed Halo, and considering how the winter season ended off just a couple of months ago, we've got a couple of revenge stories actually starting to pile on. And let's go ahead and actually dive into the BCU Barracudas, because they were the runner-ups last season. Now they're already in the grand finals, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and the team that beat them, the Southampton Stags, Southampton Stags, they actually got knocked out by BCU earlier 3-0, and then they got sent to the lower bracket and lost to the Durham Defenders 3-2. So a Game 5 Classico right there. Durham, they finished third in winter, and now they are in the top three again. So, yeah, Fire Team Leeds are the ones that are kind of the ones that are new.
Horse?
They're new here. They're the dark horse. We'll call them the dark horse.
Yeah,
exactly. We're going to start off with losers round 2, which is versus Fire Team Leeds. And then, of course, as we said, the winner will play BCU. Should we have a look at some maps?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see exactly what our battlefields of choice are going to be for this particular evening in the lower bracket grand final between Durham Defenders and Fire Team Leeds. We're going to be starting off with Oddball on Live Fire to get things kicked off. Following that, we're going to go all the way to Slayer on Recharge. Our third guaranteed map mode of the evening is going to be Strongholds and Streets. Everything past that, basically, Aquarius, CTF, and Empyrean Slayer, that is not necessarily a guarantee, because it could potentially end off in a 3-0 fashion. We already know how the Durham Defenders have performed in the last couple of seasons as well, including winter, but Fire Team Leeds, they're a little bit of the unknown quantity, and considering the fact that they got knocked down here at the hands of BCU in a 3-0 fashion, I'm not exactly certain that that we should be backing them a whole lot, but either way, we will have to wait until we get into the server to see exactly what Leeds have got in store for us.
And I will say this is a rematch, because in the first winners round, they actually beat Durham 3-0. So this is the revenge match, the revanche for Durham to try and, take it to Fire Team Leeds. But like you said, map 4, CTF Aquarius, and then Slayer on Pit. Mate, I am super excited for CTF Aquarius. Always my favorite map mode. So personally, I'm hoping that, we get to map 4. But out of these first 3 maps, which is the one that you think is going to be the best one?
I think the one that's going to be the most competitive by a nautical mile is easily Oddball on Live Fire. I think it is, in my opinion, much better than, say, for example, Oddball on Recharge, just because of the fact that you have so much more Oddball reset potential. But at the end of the day, that kind of has fallen out of favor in the last couple of months. Especially when you take a look at the tier 1 lot of play, you don't necessarily see people floating that oddball towards green anymore. It's usually kept over towards the Sniper's Nest, Sniper's Tower, for just an easy quick reset, throw off the map, and then try to essentially force your opponents back over to square one. So map 1 already banging in my books, but honestly, I'm just hoping that this one goes the full distance all the way down to Pit, because I have yet to actually cast Pit once since its introduction.
What? Oh yeah. Man, you are in for a treat. It's already changed so much since they brought it out as well. They got rid of so many things, and they cleaned up a lot of the timing. And trust me, it's a much better map to cast now. So you're going to be excited for that. But a look at these teams really quick before we get right into it. We are going to start with the Durham Defenders. It is Mage, it is Manxie, it is Nat Depanda, and it is Jarrison. I know that Nat is actually subbing in for La Catarina. So they have a sub today. And then if we look at it is going to be Spartan Spy. It is going to be Do Not Defy Me, Alistair, and Morgan. And yeah, mate, I'm pretty excited to get. We're not gonna keep you too long, basically. But yeah, anything you want to comment about the teams as
I mean,
get
I do,
about to get
at the
into
very
it?
least, well, recognize one particular name, and that is "Do Not Defy Me" from the winter season as well. In a couple of matches, you will have to forgive me, guys, in chat, because obviously my brain is completely glooped out and my memory isn't exactly what it used to be. But "Do Not Defy Me" on a
We're
different
old.
roster this time. Yeah, exactly. We're
Okay.
getting old, man. I'm 22. I'm basically already a boomer at this stage compared to all of these kids that are in uni and they're just fragging out. Much better than I could in the game either way. But do not defy me. A name that does ring a bell, and one that I do recall was actually playing quite the versatile role on their previous roster in the winter season as well, picking up at the very least that sort of more support role from what memory serves me correctly. At the very least, they are kind of one of those players that is simply put there to create space and capitalize on frags wherever they may be found. So seeing exactly how this particular player, Do Not Defy Me, is going to fit into the squad of Leeds is yet to be determined. Obviously, first time that I'm going to be able to see Fireteam Leeds in the server itself, and we are just raring to go. We are just about to head into the matchup. We are getting confirmation. And yeah, James, let's go ahead and dive right in. Oddball on live fire to open things up.
I can't believe you called yourself old at 22, mate. I'm 31. I feel ancient now. I feel like I need to have a stick, like a walking cane. But here we are. It is Durham Defenders versus Fireteam Leeds. And yeah, I mean, the great thing is that when you have player names, they don't always match up to exactly what they are in the server. So Durham Defenders is Mage, Manxie, Nat the Panda, and Jarrison. Yeah, I have no idea which of those three players are the other three apart from Nat the Panda. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just go by by the in-game names, I guess, for the time being. Overshield is starting to get burnt out just a little bit, and that is an utter collapse. Brilliantly done as well by Fireteam Leeds as they have control of the S7, and they were able to burn out that OS entirely. Oddball soon to be recovered, but now they're just cleaning up house. They're chasing down these frags, and that's all the space that Leeds need, realistically.
Yeah, great start from Leeds. The early frag lead, as well as some beautiful oddball time. Just going to be sitting here in window, making sure that they're kind of controlling this area. And look how really nice this setup is. Even though it's Spartan who has the ball, there are kind of two members just playing bodyguard in mid. And I really like to see that. As you can see, Fifi here with the snipers. Going to find one. Going to lay a shot down as well. They're going to pick up a second. It is going to be 2v2. You can see Nat the Panda kind of coming in mid into this garage. Killing spree for Fifi already. 5-0. And yeah, Fireteam Leeds looking real hot at the start of this one, mate.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best holds that we have actually seen coming out from Fifi at the very least, doing God's work from inside of lobby as well. And Do Not Defy Me already in the prime position as that OS comes online. They're going to slap it right on their chest and head back into the fun itself. Oddball has gone cold for a little bit, but Do Not Defy Me should be able to make quick work of Mage as well to reclaim that skull. And Fireteam Leeds 100% in the driver's seat. Durham Defenders, yeah, they are truly struggling to find an entry.
Yeah, it's been, you're right, it's been suffocating from Leeds, and I really like that, you know, the thing that I love about this map is there are two real big places you can play the ball. You can play it back B, or you can play it at kind of tower, at that side of the map. And Leeds have gone, you know what, we actually don't care about that. We're going to get halfway to victory, and we're going to do it all the way in garage. We're not even going to rotate. In fact, the ball spent so much time that it's now been reset anyway.
Yeah.
But I really like that from Leeds, is they found a setup, they've made it work, and actually, yeah, Durham Defenders, that's not the way you want to go. But look, again, 3 dead. Fireteam Leeds going to pick up this ball. Looks like they're going to head towards tower, but that's actually where the Durham spawns are. So yeah, that's not going to be a good way to go.
No, timing wasn't exactly ideal on that one, but either way, frags are going to be quickly cleaned on up as the oddball does get reset. On board with Spartan Spy, and he will get a nice little assist on that one. Oddball to be recovered. A little bit of carnage going downstairs inside of the dirt tunnel, but either way, it seems as if Durham are actually starting to stabilize this a little bit with 3 members off the board for Leeds. They will reclaim the oddball as their own, keep it back inside of this garage side, and see if they can try to take a little bit of success outside of the Leeds book.
And a couple of things I wanted to point out. So the full truth is 0 and 8 right now. right? 3 assists,
Mm-hmm.
but just not laying any amount of kills down as a killing spree comes through for Powell. But I really like that what we saw from Leeds was they took the ball through the middle, they went towards tower, they realized there was a player, so he just instantly played the ball.
Yeah.
Spartan was like, all good, I'll take the time that it took for me to get it up there. I'll just play the ball, we'll reset, we'll come back. Durham tried to capitalize on that, but Fireteam Leeds is just out-fragging them and just simply outplaying them in the positioning as well.
Yeah. Also, just to quickly touch on Panda right there at engagement, a little bit unfortunate that he couldn't get the melee hit off as well, and as a consequence, he does go down rather easily. Powell now trying to rectify the situation, does get away with one, but his shields are entirely stripped, forced to rotate off as well towards his lower end. That melee is not going to hit, but at the very least, Fireteam Leeds, they are able to maintain control of this oddball, and this team fire is just absolutely brilliant, but nope. Here comes the full truth into the rescue, and that was probably the most impact they had this entire map so far.
Man, that was so sneaky, just coming from behind and stealing the ball and just yeeting right through and being like, nah, I'm just going to take that, thank you very much. But, yeah, Fireteam Leeds still ending up with the ball anyway, but that was actually a great battle. The thing I really liked from watching Leeds there was that they actually stuck together. So it looked like a 1v1, but actually it was a 2v1. Then it was a 3v2. And even though eventually they lost out because Durham wrapped, it was a quality setup from Leeds that took all of Durham's members to get out of it. As Fireteam Leeds just going to play the ball and themselves. As you can see, Spartan going to jump off. Spartan is 80 points already, by the way, and it is 95 to 36.
Exactly. Fireteam Leeds, they just need one good little team fight to go in their favor, and then with 5 seconds on the oddball, that'll be the first round already cleaned up in their favor, and I think that's just about it. That should be a full team wipe on the playing field as Panda also goes down. Leeds with the ball in hand, they will be able to confirm the last couple of points necessary so far, and that is round one already in their favor. Quite dominant as well. Durham defenders narrowly came out with a response towards the very tail end of it, but unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out for them. We are just getting a little bit of a word that there is a slight tech issue going on within the lobby, so we're going to get that sorted out in a hurry. But either way, let's go ahead and dissect what we just saw in that first round, because there was plenty that actually went on. Plenty of domination from the side of Fireteam Leeds, and we did see a small little recovery towards the end from Durham defenders, but they couldn't quite thread the needle. Jeez.
Yeah, and I mean the crazy thing is that when you actually looked at Durham, they top fragged in that server, right? Like there was someone who had on 15 kills, was like 15 and 6, 15 and 7. So they were doing a lot of the heavy lifting. The Full Truth, I think, ended up with like 3 kills, had a couple of important plays, but just couldn't make much of an impact. And then when you have 15 kills and you're not getting any ball time, it's really kind of showing how not objectively focused Durham were, right? It's great to be laying down kills, but if your teammates aren't capitalizing, if they aren't picking this oddball, if they aren't rotating very well, then you're just not going to have a lot of fun. I think it was about 100 to 36 or 35 by the end of it. So
something like that,
Leeds doing such a good job in Garage to start off with. It was 50-0 in the blink of an eye, 50 to 10 even. And then they just played that map advantage super, super well. And even though Durham tried to come back with it and tried to get some frags, Leeds just had a much better fragging across the board, allowed them to get it done.
Yeah, not only that, I do also really appreciate the power-up and power weapon play coming out from Leeds as well, specifically Do Not Defy Me, within that opening round, just because of the fact that once they were sort of like very, very comfortable with a couple of the team wipes that they had inside of that garage over towards A, and they were just racking up points, they were very, very quick to react on the power-up spawn. Specifically, Do Not Defy Me just immediately occupies that territory over towards dummies, gets a couple of frags of some people exiting from the tunnel itself to try to wrap around over towards window and go in through garage, and then you have Do Not Defy Me just kind of quietly sitting there, picks up 1 or 2 frags, and then also just gets the OS as it comes online as well. They're, at the very least, their game sense when it comes to knowing when to sort of break the rules of engagement and truly go for those power-ups was absolutely on point coming out from Fireteam Leeds, and just something that we didn't see the defenders replicate in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be interesting to see. We had a game crash, so we'll be bringing it back to you, but it'll be interesting to see how Durham, kind of with that reset and with a little bit of time to think about it,
Yeah.
how they're gonna kind of
Mhm.
come back into it and rework that strategy. We're gonna throw to a very quick break while we get this game reset up. Of course, it was an observer crash because that's just how Infinite works. So yeah, we'll be a very quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. We will be back, but it is leads up 1-0 in this oddball live fire. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Captain James Force. I'm here with Tudor, and we are going to bring you the finale of this oddball live fire. Game one, losers round two, Durham Defenders versus Fireteam Leeds. It is Leeds up 1-0 so far. It's been pretty dominant.
Yep.
Let's see what round two and potentially round three has in store for us. But, mate, we talked a little bit before the break about kind of how Leeds dominated. What is it you want to see from Durham here to kind of get these defenders back in the game? Because it looked a little rough in round one.
So honestly, it doesn't have anything to do with the start whatsoever, because if we take a look and sort of run it back towards the very, very start of that round one, it was Durham defenders that actually got the first couple of points on the board, but it realistically stopped. They didn't actually even hit 10 points after their start with the oddball. So it's not necessarily trying to find a balance as to getting control of the skull as soon as humanly possible and just starting to rack up points right from the get-go, but it is just establishing a little bit of further map control and then really going for those power-ups and the S7 on top of that, which is something that they didn't quite capitalize on at the very least. Typically, when it comes to these kinds of oddball starts, and with live fire being one of the only maps in the pool that has a delayed spawn for power-ups and power weapons, because, I mean, I think it is the overshield that takes about like 30 seconds in, and the S7 is just there right from the get-go, right? So fight for the S7, completely ignore the oddball. If you really want, maybe even go down below to get the heat wave, but then just try to maintain your map control before actually going for that ball touch. That is the only thing that I would really like to see from Durham defenders. Just ignore the oddball for a little bit, because there is going to be plenty of time to make up for those lost points later in the round itself. There is no need to rush that whatsoever. Just a little bit of a much more slow and methodical approach is actually what I would like to see from the Durham side the most.
Yeah, I agree. And when you kind of watch HCS, whether it's kind of the Quadrant and Na'Vi, Jailings from EU, or even if you're watching kind of the NA, you notice that a lot of these oddball games go to time. or a lot of oddball games kind of get really kind of close to that timer
Yeah.
because teams are not, like you said, they're not playing the oddball so much as they're playing the positioning. They're playing kind of the strategy, the spawns. They're making sure that when they can take some ball, they can, but they're not afraid to drop that ball and go back into a 4v4. Because essentially, when you have that ball, it's a 3v4. And you see these top teams, they are not afraid to drop it. They are not afraid to get back into 4v4, to burn some time, to burn some clock. And I think kind of that's where it comes from experience. And I'd love to see the defenders do that because I know, especially when I play ranked, it's a lot of either no one's touching the ball or the only thing everyone is going for is the ball.
True.
I would love to see, although I'm low plat, so maybe that's just a plat
I haven't
thing.
even touched ranked, so I wouldn't know.
but I mean, like you said, I want to see more play around the ball. I want to see them kind of take it slow and not feel like they have to grab the ball all the time.
What they need the most, realistically speaking, is technically a rhythm on the side of Durham defenders. That is one thing that they don't necessarily have. It is, I don't necessarily want to say that is very chaotic, their style of play, but then again, we just only saw like 5 minutes worth of gameplay in that round number 1, and we don't know how they're going to perform throughout the rest of the series, this best of 5 series, mind you, as well. But a rhythm needs to be established for the Durham defenders side because it wasn't, as I said, it wasn't necessarily chaotic. It was very, very disconnected from what we saw. There were a couple of players that weren't able to actually hit double digits in the fragging department just because of the fact that they kept on succumbing to a lot of team shots and a lot of team fights that the lead side were able to establish really, really well. The amount of 2v1s that we were seeing across the entirety of the map were heavily in the favor of leads. And sure, on occasion, we did see, I think, about 2 full team wipes for the lead side. And then I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, the defenders, they finally got their jam. Just like Stella, they found their groove again. But they weren't able to match that level of consistency that is really needed for an elimination matchup.
Yeah, and you're right. As we're going to bring back into it, reminded it is Leeds that are up 1-0. That is also why they are on the other side now, because we have switched sides for the start. But yeah, it was Powell who was on about 15 kills, so great amount of kills, even though in the end they weren't able to win round number 1. But it is going to be the early ball time for Leeds. They're going to, just try and work this. But Nat, she's going to get a kill onto Spartan early. And Pal has the plasma pistol as well. What can he do with it? Oh, you can't jump, mate. That's not how that works.
A blunder. Nah, it doesn't exactly work out in Powell's favor, unfortunately enough. And here we have Fifi at the very least. Excuse me, Mage cleaning up a little bit of slack right over there. A nice little 2-piece found outside of A, and now suddenly it's all down to Fifi stranded and kind of just on the run with the skull, and they're gonna get clapped from behind. Mage Lord actually doing a little bit of God's work at the early stages right now for Durham.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see, and truth, even though they are again 0 and 1, they are the one with the ball. So yeah, it is good to at least get some OBJ time. It is 22-4, so Leeds already off to a hot start. Like you said, Fifi, 12 seconds of ball time, but man, they're just so ruthless.
Yeah,
3 down for Durham defenders, and once again, it's a garage setup. They found the setup they like. And I tell you what, it's not only the setup that they like, it's a setup that works super effectively at the moment. And they're going to go for a 2v1. This is the best chance they have of breaking this setup.
Yeah, one player, Spartan Spy's already rotated back off. Conceding control of the ball as well means that it's basically free real estate for the Durham side, but Overshield is going to be up in about 3 seconds, so now both squads have to redirect their attention towards that dummies end of the map and see exactly who is able to control that power up first. I think it's still being juggled a little bit, but just by the look of the overlay, it should be an OS for Durham defenders, and that doesn't bode all too well for Leeds. This could finally be the spark that lights the fire for Durham's comeback, as they do have the ball rotated over towards green. Leeds are struggling to find a little bit of an entry right here, but they have spawned over towards bridge, so now they can start actually applying a little bit of extra pressure.
Yeah, and this is what I want to see as well. Like, whoop, the plasma pistol, did that miss at point blank range? Yeah. Oh my lord, that's so bad. But great repulsor as well, actually, to get that ball away. They are going to get tagged up by Pal, but Leeds have done a great job to not only 3v1, but to kind of keep that ball. And now there's all four of them are there, and it's so hard for the defenders to get in. Having said that, though, it looks like they might get a triple. Can they get a triple? No. Fifi going to get two, and now it's just Nat. She's in a 1v3. She's going to go down as well. But this ball's going to be reset. So, at least for the defenders, they were able to reset. But Truth going to go down trying to get this ball.
I feel like that kind of encapsulates the entire series for Truth so far. 0-6, struggling to even pass the ball off to one of their teammates. It just has been a bit of a nightmarish game for them, unfortunately enough. And Fifi coming on in with a little bit of a cleanup. It is going to be credited to Do Not Defy Me instead. Still leading the pack. Not necessarily leading the pack with 4 kills, but either way, still a game hot in the hands for Leeds right now. But the Durham defenders, they are clapping back. They will reclaim control of this oddball over towards A, and the spawns heavily in their favor. But once again, overshield up in about 5 seconds, and they have no control established. So this is going to go into the hands of Fireteam Leeds quite easily.
Yeah, and Fireteam Leeds have about a 2 frag advantage as well. But I do like this from the defenders. I also don't 100% understand why everyone is going into Garage. Like, this is such an open map. There are so many places you can play this ball. And, like, look at the Leeds team. It's like moths to a flame. It's 4v3 now. They're going to chase one away. There's 2 down here. And they're going to play the ball, and that is actually great play. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't ask for more there because, you know, that's why you can't have it in Garage, because you have no ability to play the ball. But great work from the defenders. They realized they were cornered, Leeds swamped in, and by the time they played the ball, the defenders are kind of respawning. Now they have the ball again, so a great little passage from them. But, yeah, get it out of Garage, guys. Get it somewhere where you can play it. It works better, trust me.
Yeah, it does. And as they took it over towards green in that last little engagement right over there, when, you know, things were getting a little bit too hot to handle, they were able to reset that ball no problemo and then just kind of, you know, go back to square one and fight things out in a bare-knuckle brawl. Hopping on with Spartan Spy, he's got a player to deal with over towards Bridge. Potentially make that a 2-piece right over here if the BR shots connect. It does get a little bit messy, but at the end of the day, it is Salty to bail them out in that situation. Panda, unfortunately, goes down as well. Couldn't quite find the connection over there. And Oddball still firmly in the hands of Leeds right now. Despite the best efforts from Durham, they might unfortunately still go down 2-0 in this affair right here.
Did that ball... Oh, that ball didn't get played. That is a mistake from Leeds. Hopefully, they are able to kind of deal with it. But look where that ball ended up. That is a massive misstep from Leeds to not be able to play that ball, especially when the player was going down anyway. OS, going to be picked up by the Full Truth, who is 1-11, so no offense, but not sure that's the best person to have OS on. But now Durham have rotated this ball around. Oh, beautiful work from Truth, though. It's going to double their kill count.
Triple.
Triple. Woo! Can they get a triple? It is not going to work out. Didn't even get an assist, but they are going to repulse that away. That OS coming in very, very handy. So, yeah, it's good work at the moment from Durham defenders to just kind of settle this down and just really make it hard for Leeds.
Yeah, but now it's actually been made a little bit harder for them as Leeds still have control of that oddball and it's been rotated actually back down to the basement. I thought it was going to go up towards that tower. Oh no, that is such a huge blunder. S7 doesn't connect and the melee only strips the shields of Fifi. That could have been oddball control established for the Durham defenders and that might have actually just cost them the entire match. Leeds only need about 2 more points to go to lock this one in and no one's in the prime position to contest or get the skull out of their hands. Ah, that one is gut-wrenching, James.
Yeah, that is big oofs. In the industry, that's the official term for it, big oofs. But yeah, it's that sucks, man. Like that's
not what you want to see at the to say the very least. That is about as horrible as the entire situation could have gone. Like you've got You've got just about 15 seconds to actually intervene with the entire oddball play. You've got the prime basically weapon in the S7 to go for a nice little 1-2 punch combo, and your first hipfire misses, your melee barely connects, and you can't get rid of the oddball and get that into your own hands to keep the game alive and force it all the way to a round number 3. That is blunderous.
It hurts.
Yeah.
You know, that hurts,
painful.
but yeah, take nothing away from Leeds, right? They've had a beautiful 2 rounds, even though they were slightly spread apart. Yeah, the ability to just clutch up there, right? Not panic when Durham gets the ball, kind of really, and you saw it once where there was the 4 people, just such good communication, just rush into B, back green, make sure they find Durham, even though Durham played the ball and managed to get it back to the middle. Just great work from them. The concern that I have, if I'm Durham, is the Full Truth in 2 rounds never really got going, and
No,
now
he
you're about
didn't.
to play a Slayer on recharge.
No, I mean,
so
the only thing that can even be said about Truth from basically his entire performance in that particular matchup was he got OS, the rest of his team said go kill, and he found a double piece. That was basically about it, or it must have been a 3-piece over the course of about 15 or 20 seconds. That is not really the kind of performance that you're looking for, and sure, they were able to utilize that OS to the best of their abilities. You find yourself a triple kill. That is more than you could really ask for with an overshield, but the fact that they could only get impact with a power up is just, it's very, very worrisome to say the very, very least. And now heading over towards recharge, where you've got yourself the active camo, sure, things are going to be played out a little bit more differently, but as you said, it's pure Slayer. It is pure team deathmatch, and if you can't frag out, then you are going to be nothing but a liability for your team.
yeah, and I think the thing is here is if Truth is not fragging, at least don't be dying, right? Like at least if you're not going to be contributing one, don't contribute the other as well. Like that's exactly not what you want.
Your goal is to basically break even in the KD ratio. That's it.
Yeah, that's I 100% agree with that. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see how this goes. 2 down as Define Me is gonna find the tag, but Nat, she's going to have 2 assists. Pal's going to have 3 kills already. Oof. And it is Durham Defenders 3-1 up to begin this Slayer.
Yeah, active camo completely cold, but now going to be picked up by Powell as well. No contention as well, so he gets away with it scot-free. And now, well, basically slipping into the shadows, he can get to work. Already shuts down the shock rifle in the hands of Do Not Defy Me, and he's going to quickly reposition. Taking a Whirlpool, now going to occupy up that service tunnel as well, but that's not where the majority of the action is. It's over towards this main Durham spawn. And, things are about to start getting really, really hot over here. Spartan Spy does get baited out. Nice little team play coming out from Durham Defenders to really keep a leash on Leeds, but they just come back with a flood of their own.
Yeah, it was beautiful work from Durham, especially great from Nat to get that kill, but Hal's going to go down, and you're right, Leeds just flooded into long. That's C down there. But great nade from Full Truth, great double nade from Full Truth. Oh, love to see that. But yeah, at the moment it's Durham with a couple of kill lead, but it's really been Pau once again taking it by the scruff of the neck, as Pau, as we say, is going to get a double kill. And it's looking pretty good so far, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. Durham Defenders, they're not going into this afraid. There's 10 seconds till camo, so they're trying to play this around the map.
They need to shut down Powell. He's got the grapple hook. He can basically just, after he picks up this kill, just rotate back down, potentially just grapple that active camo right onto himself if no one's going to be able to contest that.
Yeah, and unfortunately that camo is always like the most naded spot of this map, of course, especially when it's King of the Hill as well. But who ended up picking up that camo? Because I don't see it. Oh, I can see it there. It looks like it was someone from Leeds. It looks like it's going to be Spartan. It is. Spartan's going to get a kill. But, yeah, great work. But Pal, 9 and 2, basically putting the entire team of the Defenders on his back. It's like he's a massive wall with spikes right now.
Yeah, and he will definitely need to see a chiropractor after this game is done. Do Not Defy Me, hopping on with them right now as we've got a little bit of pressure starting to be applied over towards Powell. He was, well, actually left unknown and unrecognized, and he does manage to scamper away at the very tail end. That is a nice stick coming on through. Pays dividends as one extra frag is already picked up for Do Not Defy Me. But Durham defenders still faltering a little bit in a couple of these team engagements, but it's still early days, only 13 to 15, plenty of time, plenty of space for them to really build up a bit of a recovery.
And this is the one thing I like about this is it's still close, right? Even though Leeds do have the lead right now, as it's going to be Fifi trying to work out exactly where they're supposed to be going. But yeah, I do like the fact that even though it's a 1-kill lead for Leeds, it's not getting out of hand, right? Like, everyone is kind of doing their part. Powell is doing a lot more than everyone else, but they're really utilizing this buddy system, and you can see it here, right? It's 3v3, basically. And they're coming from kind of all angles. But Fireteam Leeds are just winning these duels, and now they got to watch out, Durham, even, because of the spawns that Leeds have, they've kind of allowed them to get these spawns out and around the map. So for Leeds, this is good. They have a 4-kill lead now. So for Durham, they're going to need to start picking up some kills, because Nat, she's 1-7, Mage is 1-4. Being 2-11, my friend, that's not going to cut it.
Nope. And here comes Do Not Defy Me with the active camo. That's a very easy little pickup right there, and they can continue to just, well, go and cause a little bit of chaos as they're rotating over towards this heaven side. They already have live intel as Salty Eyes did go down just a little bit earlier, and Durham defenders, they are starting to slightly crawl back into their enemy, and they're actually crawling through the service tunnels as well. Do Not Defy Me has just got a couple of seconds left on the active camo. Got to make sure you utilize it properly. Nearly gets decapitated by the shock rifle, and finally punished for their crimes as Truth gets the refrag.
You know, the crazy thing is Powell is 12-5, and the rest of his team have put up 7 kills.
Yep.
And you can see there, and that happened to Truth as well, is that, whoop, you're going to miss that shot from Powell. But the thing is, in the latest patch, kind of at the start of this Season 3, one of the things that 343 nerfed was melee distance.
Yep.
So now it is so much harder to melee from a distance, as it should be. You're not lunging half the map like you were before. And you've seen in the first few weeks after the patch, players are not used to it, man. Players still trying to melee from ages away and then just like awkwardly whiffing is one of those things that players are going to have to get used to. I mean, you even saw it yesterday in the Spartan Stadium series, and you saw it on the weekend in the HES Open. Even the pros whiff sometimes as well, so
it happens.
It's not just amateurs.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's all part of the process. Players are still teething a little bit with the updated melee system, but just to be safe, get up close and personal, right up in their faces. You saw it right over there, Spartan Spy. If he gets away with this off of a failed melee, I would have been shocked and completely bamboozled and flabbergasted. But no, they get shut down instead. And as things stand right now, well, the Durham defenders, they've got a massive gap to close. Currently sat at about like 8 kills right now. Fireteam Leeds are continuing to rip and tear their way on through. Spy does eventually get shut off as well. Durham defenders starting to mount up a little bit of a recovery, as Powell will be denied the luxury of hitting 20 seconds until or 20 kills until the respawn comes on through for him.
Yeah, and this must be the 3rd or 4th killing spree I've seen this game. I mean, Do Not Defy Me and Powell are in this like insane 1v1, and kind of everyone else is just along for the ride. Like, no one else has 10 kills, and I mean, if you look at Durham, Powell has twice as many as his team combined, and if you look at Leeds, Do Not Defy Me is still almost double 2 of his teammates added together. Probably, in fact, even more so. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy what these guys are doing here to make it work. Mage Lord is going to find a kill and finally shut down Do Not Defy Me. But yeah, 18-8, 18-9, 19. In fact, great nade shot as well. How struggling. It's 11 kills the difference towards Leeds, and you can think that this is probably gonna slow down, maybe. Actually, it's not, because Powell's just gonna keep trying to continue doing work as Mage Lord's gonna trade. But Yeah, I mean, for Leeds, trades are going to bring it home. It is a 10-kill lead, so there is still some work. But, yeah, they're looking in control.
Yeah, at this certain stage, if you're in the shoes of lead, there's no reason to even play passive anymore. Just go ahead and throw caution to the wind and try to take up as many team fights as possible, because you know that if you make a mistake, Durham defenders are going to need probably about 2 to 3 minutes to close off that gap. So 45 kills already bagged. 5 more needed for them to shut this one off and take the second game in their favor. And, well, the hopes of going all the way to pit at the very, very end of this best of 5, they're starting to evaporate, and that makes me a little bit sad. But Fireteam leads. 2 more frags to close this one off. Durham defenders currently sat on 34, and this little 2-piece is going to be the nail onto the coffin right over there. Durham defenders unable to remain competitive, with the sole exception of Powell narrowly hitting 20 kills, but he is the only person doing a remote amount of work for this Durham side.
Do not defy me with 24 out of 50 kills, which is just
redonkulous.
Absolutely unbelievable to get half of the total kills. Yeah, Do Not Defy Me was outstanding. Powell was absolutely brilliant as well, kind of dragging the defenders with him and keeping it reasonably close. But yeah, at the end of the day, Do Not Defy Me it was just having fun out there, just making it look really, really easy. Leeds going to go 2-0 up. Durham, they're going to have to work out something pretty quick, because at the moment, they've lost 5 maps on the bounce to Leeds. So, yeah, it's looking pretty hectic at the moment. It is going to be King of the Hill Streets. Mate, what do you like most about Streets, especially in the King of the Hill setting?
Ooh, that is a really, really great question, and I'm going to have to give it a long, hard think about it as well.
I'll preface something for you. I will say King of the Hill Streets was the map that Optic won the World Champs on. Yeah. They did have that last second hill where it almost got taken away from them, and they actually started celebrating and all the colors went off, but actually the game wasn't finished. So there was that kind of hectic moment that will be remembered in King of the Hill Streets. But
I remember that.
Yeah, for me, I like the Bulldog. Spanker's great. Stalker Rifle. If you can control the spawns in King of the Hill, you can kind of make it work for you. But yeah, what's the bit that you like?
Spanker.
I waffled.
Spanker. It's definitely got to be the rocket launcher, just buttload in the middle of the map right over there, and vying for control of that at the very, very start of the map as well. But on top of that, it's just kind of at the very least it's not necessarily the most symmetrical maps that we actually have in the pool, just because of the fact that there's like that difference in elevation as well, which throws a nice little bit of mix into it as well. You've got both of the terraces on either or spawn one over towards A, and that does give you a lot of really, really great opportunities to technically also utilize those deployable shields. Hilariously enough, it's something that we have seen at the very least on a rise in the meta in the last couple of months since Seattle as well, as you mentioned, and just being able to utilize those shields, I find it to be really, really fun at the very least, because it's kind of like one of those pieces of utility that largely goes ignored just because, oh yeah, it was in a really crappy state at launch. Haha, funny. Let's not go ahead and touch this anything. But it proves to be a very, very valuable tool on Streets for actually not only defending a lot of your key choke points, but also ramping up a couple of those, ramping up your aggression and establishing a couple of beachheads to claim control of multiple of those strongholds as well. So, unironically enough, yeah, I like the shields. That's it.
Nice. I also like the shroud screen. Now that they've kind of introduced this into Streets, I think the ability to kind of play with this and play around it is so super, super nice. And what I really like, and what I'm really hoping to see from these teams, is that the pro teams have started realizing that it's not only just drop it on your own position and kind of utilize it that way. Yeah. We've seen teams drop it on the spanker, run in and grab that, get out, can't be seen. We've seen teams top C, right? Like top of the ramp from C to B, put it there. Top of the stairs, kind of away into trash. Like there's so many places now that you can play this shroud screen. Oh, man. Name gets me every time. Shroud screen.
I've already gotten. Yeah, it is going to be. It's a little bit of a mouthful and a tongue twister to say as well. Shroud screen. Goodness gracious. I already hate it. Let's just call it a smoke. Just call it what it is. It's a smoke. Be done with it. We're from Counter-Strike. Yeah, this is acceptable for us. It's a smoke. Done. But no. I was just thinking of something absolutely ratty of what you could do with the smoke. Hide on a terrace. Get yourself the Bulldog and just camp and defend. It's absolutely ratty, and if somebody says that, I can basically just scratch that off my bingo card for tonight's cast as well. But I'm hoping that we don't necessarily see that, because I don't want anyone in this server to stoop that low. But either way, yeah, Smokes definitely spicing things up over the course of the entire competitive pool that we actually have right now in HCS. I have yet to actually go through the patch notes and see exactly which map has the addition of the smoke, so that is something that I've been slacking on as well. I know. It's been super duper busy.
Well, it's this one.
It's this one.
I can tell
at the
you.
very least. Yeah, it's this one. And yeah, that makes things a little bit easier for me as well. Stalker already doing plenty of work. Do Not Defy Me will get traded off. Spanker still cold in the middle of the map.
Yes. I also think, from memory, that it is Argyle, but I will have to go and pull some notes to check that out. But yeah, good start from Fifi, 3-0 already. But yeah, you're right, and this is what I like. Like, we're both from CS. We know the importance of how smokes work, and I think that's one thing that teams have really started to understand with this Shroud screen, is that it is so new. Like, how do you miss that melee, by the way? That's such a nerf in the distance that you miss someone right next to you.
Yeah, I think there's still a couple of things that need to be ironed out with the melee system right now. It's a little bit wonky.
And see, that's a great shield to just block off that person who has Stalker Rifle, right? And this is what I mean, that the smoke, they've started to use it not only in defensive ways, but in offensive ways.
Yep.
And that is something that you're going to see throughout Season 2 of HCS, is people using this Shroud to really change the complexity of this map and understand blind fire. Great achievement, like that.
Nice.
You're gonna see it kind of change the complexity of the way maps are, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this particular hill, or, excuse me, this particular hole that is right outside of B, you know, you've got yourself a nice little vantage point from that stalker spawn where you can basically just sit and farm and click mouse 1, basically until your finger gives out, and just being able to smoke that off and completely forget about it. Just put it out of your mind and worry about what is physically in front of you on the stronghold itself makes life a little bit easier, and it is one of those complexities that you mentioned that just gives this map a little bit of extra spank. And speaking of spank goes Panda, claimed by the Spanker, and that's going to be the stronghold reclaimed for Durham defenders. Powell finds a little bit of extra contact, utilizing the last little rocket right in there, but both teams still vying for control, as they have yet to actually hit 50% of the progress bar on this hill.
Yeah, and first hill, especially in streets, always kind of the one that gets fought for the most. This is actually the championship winning hill as well, I might point out. But yeah, the way that the spawns are, if you're kind of on this hill and you've got 3 or 4 people around the hill, there is so many places that leads are able to come from. They're able to come from A, they're able to come from C, they're able to spawn kind of cafe and push that way. So there are a lot of places that you have to watch all the time. That is a great shield screen, by the way. Like, just to be able to cut that off so they don't know that you're flying down, it just looks so nice. And actually, there's going to be 3 dead for Leeds, and you can see here that Spartan is the only one left trying to get up. But it looks like with only a couple of seconds to go, looks like Durham is going to be able to take this first hill. They will, but Leeds already set up on this second hill, so now they're going to have to flood down into the hill. But great work from both teams. Look how many kills there are. Full Truth has 7 already, so much better in this game 3, and I like what I'm seeing from the defenders.
Yeah, definitely. It's entirely different change of pace, and yeah, Durham not necessarily looking like a shadow of their former selves, but quite the opposite. They are looking like the Durham that we've been waiting to see this entire best of 5 series so far, and it couldn't have come at a better time as well, given the fact that this is already game number 3. Spanker was already picked up, and it will be recovered by Do Not Defy Me after that engagement towards mid does go in their way. 1 rocket already utilized, but no connection found. So guess what? We're gonna hop in for seconds, and kaboom goes the dynamite. Bye-bye goes Magelord, and Powell is stuck trying to recover things out, but he's just going to get evaporated by the Sentinel beam over towards mid. And Fire Team leads. Well, sure, that first hill didn't go in their favor, but the second one, 110%.
Yeah, exactly. A beautiful setup. And this is something we also see when we look at Recharge. Recharge has exactly the same thing. That first hill is down by Camo, and that's just pain. That is just nade central. It's so hard to get. But the second one is towards kind of C long, and that is the easiest hill. That is one of the easiest hills to get. So, yeah, it's really kind of the same here as well. That first hill at B just feels so difficult.
Yeah.
The C hill really looks easy, but I say that as well, and you can see that actually this hill, as you see the shields there, that's going to be a good night. Spartan Spike on his back smack. This A hill also looks kind of easy, but Leeds starting to put a little bit of time on the board. But the defenders, I've really been impressed with this comeback in Game 3, because it would have been so easy after 1 and 2 to just roll over and get trashed on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been looking good.
It's been looking good, but obviously being able to get yourself a point on this particular hill, it has the exact same issues as the previous one inside of lobby over towards C, just because of the fact that you're spawning on the opposite side of the map, and as we've been seeing so far, oh, this is brilliant coming out from Fifi as well to just buy themselves a couple of extra seconds, but eventually the Durham defenders are going to claim control of it for about a frame right over there, and they are still spawning miles away, but they do narrowly get away with the Spanker as well. Magelord actually gets shut down as well. This map control established by Fire Team Leeds is absolutely brilliant. They are giving the defenders no room whatsoever to work with, and they just bag themselves a second point.
Yeah, 100%. It has looked really, really good for them so far. No powers on 11 kills. Do Not Defy Me had a slow start, but now these guys really making it work. That rocket's going to miss. Do Not Defy Me is going to get the cleanup anyway. Knows there's one on subway stairs. Going to get traded. It's not going to matter unless Durham defenders can really push this hill, because it's already halfway to number 3.
Yep.
Durham just getting beaten out here. I mean, Salty Ice almost managing to 1v3, and now there's 2 members here. Do Not Defy Me gonna win that battle every single day of the week. At the moment, it looks like they're about to claim hill number 3, but Durham, they don't want anything to do with that.
Not in the slightest. A little bit of success coming out from the Durham side, even if it is short-lived, but hopefully they'll be able to get themselves the second point and keep things competitive just a little bit longer. Powell, back to his old ways, ripping and tearing his way through the competition as well, but not necessarily leading the charge in the slaying department. That award now goes to Do Not Defy Me. And Spartan Spy, yeah, all the way back down, actually just clambers on top to try to apply a little bit of extra pressure, and that team shot is absolutely brilliantly set up. Leeds take decisive control over this hill, and they might be able to just close it off, get themselves a third point here, and truly force the defenders to sit with their backs against the wall.
Hill number 5, going to be right in the middle of this map. Around the Spanker, there's 8 seconds towards the Spanker, and this is also going to be nade, absolute nade central right now. So, super important that the defenders both get the Spanker, which I do not believe they did, and Leeds to be able to control this hill. Fifi is on the hunt, and I really like this. They're controlling the spawns already. They're really kind of pushing towards clearing Durham out and forcing them to spawn into 1 point, as Do Not Defy Me is going to get the kill before getting naded and blown up. But look, once again, just this entry into mid. Power with 15, but Do Not Defy Me and Salty Ice on 19 apiece. I told you I'd come back to you. The Shroud screen was added to both Live Fire and Streets.
Nice. So. Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
From previous experience, like at the very least when I play King of the Hill on in matchmaking, this particular hill is usually often the worst, just because of the fact that, as you mentioned, it's nade central, but so much time just gets like wound off the clock to the point that you actually spend about like 2 minutes potentially 3 minutes of real time trying to convert a point over here. And so far, Fireteam Leeds have been able to put that entire trend in the bin, as they are just seconds away from actually claiming this fourth hill and a fourth point and closing this best of 5 off in their favor, securing a position in the grand final, unless Durham actually have something to say about it. Do Not Defy Me is going to grab that Bulldog to just reaggress back onto the hill. Lovely little frag picked up there, but the second one doesn't actually connect. Powell down below over towards ATM will get shut down as well, and this is still hotly contested between the two sides. Durham defenders, they really need this point right here. They need this to keep the dream alive, James.
Yeah, and some beautiful work from Salty Ice. 24 from Salty Ice, 25 from Do Not Defy Me, and they are about 3 or 4 seconds away from getting into this grand final against BCU. But fair play. Fair play to Durham defenders. They were doing everything they can to stop that. But I think this is going to be about it. It's going to be counting down. It is Fireteam Leeds. They're going to 3-0 with a 4-1 victory. They are going to move into these grand finals. But mate, I'll tell you what, it looked pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, I mean, Fireteam Leeds, it didn't seem as if they made a singular mistake throughout that entire best of 5, being able to get things done and wrapped up within 3 games flawlessly, including just a nice little 2-0 start on Oddball Live Fire. It's about as well as things could have actually gone for them. And Durham defenders, while we did see a couple of signs of life, we did see a heartbeat here and there, there wasn't really all that much to say. And unfortunately enough for Truth, yeah, it did take them a couple of maps to actually get started and fully calibrated. They did eventually find some impact towards the very tail end, but unfortunately with Truth missing out at the very, very start of the map, it really did hamstring the entire squad of Durham defenders, and as such they hold on to a record that no team would ever really want to hold on to, going 6-0 against one particular team in Fireteam Leeds. So that's the Durham defenders, unfortunately eliminated from the competition, from the spring series. They do have a consolidation final to go up against the Soton Stags, if I'm not mistaken as well, but they're shot for runner-up or just being crowned the spring champion. That's out the window, sadly.
Yeah, and I think from what I heard earlier, Durham are going to take that 3rd place. I don't think the Stags are going to contest that. So Durham going to have a second 3rd place in a row. 3rd in winter, 3rd in spring, but we're going to turn our attention to the main event. It is going to be the grand final. We will be back with you after this break. So guys, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back for the grand final.
Where are they playing right now?
Hello, welcome back. My name is Captain James Force. I'm here with Tudor. We are here for the grand final. It is BCU versus Fireteam Leeds. It is going to be a fantastic grand final. It is going to be a rematch of the winners final.
Yep.
Where BCU beat Fireteam Leeds 3-0. So will it be another 3-0, or will Leeds ride that momentum? We're going to have a look at some maps. Mate, we're going to start with King of the Hill Streets. We are going to move on to Slayer Aquarius, CTF Pit, and if we need it, Oddball on Live Fire, and Slayer on Recharge again. Mate, which one of these maps are you most excited to see?
Well, when you asked me that question in the previous series, I was going to go ahead and say Empyrean because I've yet to actually cast Empyrean once, and guess what? It's a confirmed map at the very least. We have a minimum of 3 in this best of 5 that are 100% going to be played, so CTF on Empyrean, probably also one of my favorite map mode combinations at the very least when it comes to online play, just because of the fact that, like, let's be fair, it's a ridiculously big and chunky map. CTF feels at home. It feels Halo for me at the very least on Pit. So that is the one thing that I'm going to be looking out the most towards. Aquarius Slayer, it's like very, very down the priority list for me at the very least, but the remainder of this entire map pool, it looks bang so far. We're going to be starting off with, as you mentioned, King of the Hill on Streets. That's one of the maps that we just saw a couple of minutes ago in the losers round 2 between the Durham Defenders and Fireteam Leeds. And so this is basically just going to be a little bit of a repeat at the very least for Fireteam Leeds. If they come out of the gate swinging, they carry that momentum, as you mentioned, from the previous game into this one, then they should get off to a bombastic start. No issues.
Yeah, let's have a look at some teams as well. So, first team off the ranks is going to be BCU, Birmingham City Uni. It is Patotally, it is Navith, Halo 2, and Shots Vulture. I'm excited to see what Patotally can do. Halo 2, she is a fantastic player as well. So, yeah, this is a pretty strong team, I have to say. I think they also went 3-0 as well. Yeah, so they 3-0'd the Soton Stags. They 3-0'd Fireteam Leeds. They're currently undefeated. And, of course, Fireteam Leeds, well, if you weren't with us just before, we're going to throw them back on the screen anyway, just so you can see who it is. It is Spartan Spy, it is Do Not Defy Me, it is Alistair, and it is Morgan. And, yeah, like you said, you were pretty spot on, mate. The one to watch was Do Not Defy Me in that first map. In that first round. Like, they were just fantastic.
That first game. Yeah.
And we're actually going to get straight into it. It is King of the Hill Streets again. We are showing you a beautiful streets, and here we are. We're going to be on board with Halo 2 to begin with. She's going to try and work her way up towards the Spanker.
Yeah, it's always so amazing when you have the literal video game Halo 2 grace us with their presence in this instance. Spanker already grabbed and nabbed by Patotally over here, and they're just going to clamber up. A little bit too close for comfort, but hey, step back and boom goes the dynamite, and this should be easy control. Narrowly, the 2-piece also picked up right there for Patotally, but job done basically for Do Not Defy Me as they managed to keep things under control on this first hill just for a little bit longer. Will finally be claimed by a rogue little frag grenade out there, and so far off to a pretty okay start for Fireteam Leeds as they've got a little bit of progress already built up on this hill, but BCU, they are back in a hurry.
Yeah, I think a great start from Fireteam Leeds to put some time on this hill. But yeah, I mean, they did get 3-0'd by BCU, so Do Not Defy Me, though, has had plenty of time to warm up. Another thing that that I wanted to talk about with the kind of change with HCS is that commando now requires one more shot to kill.
Yep.
And, you know, specifically for this map as well, both the Bulldog and the Stalker rifle actually have a reduced ammo count. So there's much less bullets, and you see it with the Stalker rifle. It's already at 13%. You lose 6% a shot, which was an incredible headshot, by the way, from Fifi. But yeah, it's just kind of changed the way it works a little bit, but totally just dominating at the moment, mate. 7 and 3 already. But having said that, it is Fireteam Leeds who are having the general control of this hill.
Halos are also doing a really good job of keeping themselves at the very least hidden and striking at the right moment right there, as Patoli is just going to continue racking up kills. 8 so far to their name right now, and the Spanker is going to go into Halo 2's little back pocket right over there, but unfortunately, it's only a kill reward to Spartan Spy, as both of those rockets were expended so far. Now Fireteam Leeds looking to reclaim control of this hill, but it doesn't work out in their favor whatsoever. BCU, they were already there to meet them halfway, and they've still got the majority of Terrace and Arcade control as well. Somehow, Spartan Spy does manage to sneak on through, but they will be pounded down, totally cleaning that one up quite easily.
Yeah, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty handy first hill. A great shroud as well to really kind of force Leeds off the angle. Totally 11 and 5, and you can already see that actually Halo 2, she has dodge, dip, duck, dived all the way down this second hill already in C. Is going to get taken out with the Bulldog. But yeah, she, great work. But BCU 3 dead, and now Fireteam Leeds should be able to put a little bit of time on this hill.
Yeah. And it's going to take BCU quite a while before they can rotate over, given how far the spawns actually were. So this is basically just free time and free progress already being built up for Fireteam Leeds right here. A little bit of contact will start to be found over here, but met by an equal amount of regret, or I should say aggression and resistance by Fireteam Leeds. So far, the attempts for BCU to break through this barricade haven't necessarily been on point. Navith trying to get a little bit of work done, drops the smoke as well to try to back away and let those shields recharge, take up a different angle. At the very least, I would be okay with BCU completely conceding this hill, because that Spanker, it's going to be up in just a couple of seconds, and they want to be there to pick it up first.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to get a chance, as they are going to concede this hill. What I would have liked to have seen is that actually they kind of force that hill a little bit longer, because it's that awkward timing where Spanker kind of came up just after they'd already lost the hill. So you can see that it is Shots Vulture who does have it. But Leeds had already started to rotate towards this hill. But yeah, in the end, it didn't super matter. As you can see that the Stalker Rifle is going to come out as well. And Fifi's going to get the kill. And that Spanker is now down there up for grabs.
Yeah, that's a free rocket launcher right there. Not exactly going on to... Yeah, great recovery right there from Totally as well to just nab that Spanker and get a kill off of it on top of that. Not all hope is lost just yet, as BCU are going to get 2 feet planted on the hill so far, but Totally tossing and turning through the wind will finally be taken down. Do not defy me. Once again, just doing what they do best so far. 11 kills to their name. Still trying to catch up with Patotally, but suddenly in the blink of an eye, a full team wipe comes on through. Fireteam Leeds. They're on the back foot right now. They're in the passenger seat. They are kicking about, and they are not having a good time, as they've got such a massive gap to close off with these respawns being so far away.
Yeah, and it's great work from BCU to be able to just hold them down there and make sure that they spawn all the way over on C. I mean, Salty Ice Pack is 2 and 10 right now, so just not having a very fun time at all. But I must say, this has been a good comeback from Leeds. It is just going to be Navith who is alive, trying to control these spawns to make sure that the rest of his team do spawn on him. But look, there's 3 members here. He's going to try and lay some damage down. That is going to be an assist. There's one behind him, but he's not worried. He's actually walked past one as well. But his teammates have cleaned it up. And it looks like right at this second that all 4 are dead for Leeds. And so it's going to work out that, yeah, this second hill is going to go to BCU. And now this all-important third hill, which is over by Cafe, is already being stood in by BCU. So this is great work. But totally 18 kills already, and just really making it work.
There's no way that rocket connects. No. You can hope, and you can hope as much as you want, but that's never going to connect in any universe known to man. Which, when I say, is only the one universe that we currently live in. Side tangent aside, though, BCU still with 2 points to their name are vying for control as Fireteam Leeds have got all 4 bodies planted. But, yeah, here comes Spartan Spy in with a little bit of a cleanup. Do Not Defy Me over towards the main terrace side as well, just doing what they do best once again. And they've actually got a little bit of a flank off. Only 1 trade kill comes on through, so not exactly the best risk for reward right there, as Patotally reclaims control of the hill. Bulldog up as well, and in their hands. So this, unless Fireteam Leeds have got something to say about, could go horribly wrong. Bulldog finding a little bit of contact right there, but it gets so messy as Do Not Defy Me comes in for the back smack, or the slap, I should say, in the shutdown.
Yeah, that was just super awkward. Bulldog with a reduced amount of shots as well, so that did not help. But contested hill, oh my lord, Fifi gonna find one with the nade, but if BCU are not careful, yeah, they have to get into this hill, and that is super well done to have 4 dead for Leeds. And they should be able to get a lot of good time onto this hill. And in fact, that runaround from Patotally has meant that they couldn't even spawn on this side either. They've really shoved their spawn back in, and you can see the bandit. That got added to Argyle and Streets and Livefire. So plenty of options there, but it is going to be the 3rd hill for BCU. Literally that team wipe and that rotate from Patotally completely set up that hill, and I'm here for it. That was great.
I'm not exactly sure if this was the plan all along, or totally just said, hey, I've got an idea, let me go ahead and run with it, and there's another kill already bagged up. Brilliant game sense. All they needed was just a pixel of information, and you could just, well, plan out and predict where that rocket need to land. But totally 25 kills to their name so far. The KD ratio of over 2 is exactly the kind of performance you want coming out of your star player on the side of BCU, and they are already 60% of the way to claiming this final hill that they need to lock in game number 1. Halo 2 on board with them and on board with the Bulldog is going to have quite a mess of blue silhouettes to deal with on the opposite side of the screen, and will finally be cleaned up by Salty Ice on top of that. But Hill still remains in the favor of BCU as Navith goes down with the ship.
Yeah, Halo 2, she was doing a great job trying to just crowd control with that Bulldog. In the end, it did cost her a life, but they gained some valuable more seconds onto this hill. Patotally has had 37 kill participations, which is absolutely outrageous. And it's kind of the main reason that, you know, BCU are about 3 seconds away from taking a 1-0 lead in this grand final. As, of course, is the standard with Halo. If Fireteam Leeds were to win this best of 5, we would have a reset, considering they were from the bottom of the bracket. But with the last 2 1-second counting down, it is going to be a 4-1 King of the Hill Streets victory. In fact, that was the same score that Leeds beat Durham by. BCU go up by 1, and Patotally just absolutely rocked that boat, and he made that look pretty easy, I must say.
Pretty easy, yeah, exactly. There are just words floating around my head, and I cannot find a way to get them out into my mouth to make comprehensible about just how damn good Patotely's performance was throughout that entire game, let alone kill record. I mean, easily top fragging within the server. 26 kills, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely saw 25 up there, potentially 26 up to 28 kills towards the very tail end over there. But it was just the overall game sense, and when it came to that 4th hill that was spawned over towards Bulldog, immediately just the snap, the click in the brain of Patotally to just go off and rotate to basically cut off all of those respawn locations and just have sort of everyone flood through one particular bottleneck down that main lobby area, and they were just easy pickings up for Patotally. Also gets away with the spanker and finds so much impact with the rocket launcher on top of that. It was just the epitome of a distraction that BCU needed to lock in and get as much uncontested time on that hill on top. So Patotally easily the MVP of that game, I think, without an argument, without a shadow of a doubt. But for Fireteam Leeds, they were unable to carry on that success that they brought in from the previous game into this grand final. So things need to change up right here.
Yeah, they really got outclassed. And you're right. That one play from Patoli that we talked about in Hill 4, that was the one by Cafe, where he just rotated through. They made sure they wouldn't spawn at B. As soon as they all spawned at C after that wipe, it was so easy for them to just kind of run it down and really secure that third hill. And then the fourth hill, that wasn't too much of an issue either. They picked up the spanker. They made it look really easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to go into Slayer Aquarius. I love Aquarius. It's my favorite map out there. I love CTF Aquarius. I will take a Slayer as well. But Camo, going to be super important here. And just the way that these teams play this symmetrical map, going to be super, super interesting. But,
yeah,
mate, what do you want to see from Leeds here to try and tie the series up?
Well, there are a couple of things. I'm already pretty okay with Do Not Defy Me's performance. They were absolutely rocking it in the previous map. That's a lovely little opener from Fifi as well. To shut down Patotli as they try to get away with that active camo, and it's kind of just left stranding somewhere in the middle of the map right now. So both teams are going to send out recovery ships and try to salvage this, as Navith is taking a boatload of damage down below and unfortunately kind of nades themselves into oblivion. Not exactly what you want to see for a start off coming out from BCU, as Fireteam Leeds double up the kill count that BCU plays so far.
Yeah, Fifi on 3-1. So good start from Leeds to have that early lead, but I expect Patotli to just kind of relax and get right into it. Halo 2, she's 0-2 in this heat wave. What can it do here? Fifi going to get another nade kill. But Do Not Defy Me already with 3 assists as well, laying out a lot of damage. And both teams just struggling for a bit of map control. I think once a couple go down like they have for Leeds, I think BCU will try and push these spawns around the map. But they had 2 dead as well. So pretty even start to begin with. 8-7 for Leeds. But yeah, no one really taking control so far.
Now, BCU are just going to slowly but surely regroup, and the same thing can be said for Fireteam Leeds as they're starting to progress up that top mid side. They have kind of dispersed out a little bit, and they know there's plenty of action to be sought out after. Okay, funny how that works out. A little bit of a 4-by-3 aspect ratio moment for Patotli right there, and can't quite turn left fast enough, unfortunately enough. And the Fireteam Leeds definitely going to capitalize on top of that. Shots still trying to clean up that frag onto Do Not Defy Me. They get away scot-free. Shields recharge and they can re-aggress the claim control of this active camo. On top of that, this is about as free as the active camo might be, but BCU laying down warding shots narrowly turned down lethal, and they managed to get away with the active camo. Halo 2 slaps that onto her chest, and now she can really wreak some havoc.
Yeah, she's getting her first kill as well, and so would Salty Ice. I mean, to have 2 players that were 0 up, that's awkward. I think she's going to get away and just kind of relax with that and just
kind of forget that ever happened and just kind of be like, yeah.
Oh, she got the back smack. Oh, the cleanup crew. Oh, she is going to get found from the side, though. Can she get away? Oh, my lord.
This shouldn't be possible. There we go. Do Not Defy Me. Brilliant game sense as well, coming on through for the cleanup towards lower mid. Doesn't let that active camo find any more impact whatsoever. And Do Not Defy Me unable to retreat back into safety over towards yellow. It is Fifi down below. Now trying to keep this ship afloat, but they are caught between a rock and a hard place as Patotli makes brilliant usage of that thruster to get into harm's way and smack down an extra frag.
Yeah, uses another thruster as well. Can he get the kill? Ooh. Not quite. But Do Not Defy Me. Basically one shot here. He is going to get taken down by Navith. And what looked pretty even to begin with, as we kind of get to this middle game, is now a 5-kill lead for BCU. Make that 6. But they have looked really, really good so far. And yeah, Navith leading the way 9-3, playing an outstanding game. Totally with 7 as well, but it's really Salty Ice Pack 1-6. That's not going to do you guys any favors, I can tell you.
Nope, not in the slightest. Still relatively evened out, and both teams keeping things competitive. Only a gap of 5 kills separates these two squads, and that's going to be shortened up just a little bit by Fireteam Leeds, as we have Do Not Defy Me putting that commando to absolute work, but Salty Ice Pack will have succumbed, unfortunately, to a nice little
Ooh.
crossfire established by BCU right over there. Do Not Define Me also getting slapped down, but the trades are still coming on through. This is okay coming out from Fireteam, at least to try to clean up Halo 2 right over there, but they do scamper away just in the nick of time. Active Camo is still online, and it can still be grabbed by either one of these two teams, and it is a Mexican standoff between the two, but BCU, they get away with it first.
Yeah, and what I really like from Leeds is they have crushed this gap. It was a 6-7 kill lead, and now it is back to just, I was going to say back to 2, but now it's stretched out to 4 again, just like that. As 3 from Leeds are going to die. But the thing that I'm seeing in this game is that it is total chaos. There is no kind of spawn protection. There is no, oh my god, they saw that someone invisible was there.
Oh my.
There's no real kind of forcing of making and map control. It's all a lot of just ring around the roses as everyone's kind of spawning wherever they can and just running in to try and get kills. Patotally is on 11 assists, by the way, and 10 kills. 21 out of 31 kills he has participated in, which is an outstanding effort. But look at that. I mean, imagine coming down there. You see 3. He gets 1, but it's just going to be a trade. Like, Do Not Define Me finding 3. And this is what I like about BCU. They're basically just traveling in packs and still managing to escape. But they have a 2-kill lead. But for Leeds, they got to pack up a little bit more because BCU have the buddy system, and it looks real good right now, Tudor.
Yeah, it does. Although, like, as you mentioned, probably this is, like, one of the most unstructured games of Aquarius Slayer that we have seen in quite a long time. Salty Ice Pack gonna get struck down at range on top of that. Fireteam Lee's doing a good job, as you mentioned, of just moving together like a pack of wolves up towards that active camo. Patoli, unfortunately, can't deny the pickup by Fireteam Leeds, as we have Do Not Define Me coming in for not just 1, but 2 frags right over there towards that lower mid side. Narrowly a 3rd found over towards Blue Spawn on top of that. And BCU, while the gap now currently sits at 6, it's not all that comfortable because Fireteam Leeds, at the turn of a dime, they could just come back into this. Oh, that is bloody unfortunate. Active Camo Melee, just simply put, doesn't register.
Yeah, man, I think BCU also actually got that camo, but popped it and died, or died without quite popping it. So, yeah, BCU still playing that camo so well, even if it didn't work out. Navith almost saw... may have even seen 1 or 2 up top, but Navith with 16, Patotally with 14. They have 30 kills between the two of them. It is only 6 kills to go before they are going 2 up, and they are 9 kills ahead. Make that 10.
Yikes.
There are 4 kills to go. Patotally is going to go down, but yeah, with 3 kills left, BCU can just trade to bring this home. And Do Not Define Me, 15 and 14. He's been doing his best, but Patotally and Nav have been absolutely running riot right now. Patotally has 30 kill participations. It's ridiculous.
Yep. It is just downright illegal, it should be. Here comes Shots, finds an extra pick, and there's the melee kill to actually lock in game number 2 for BCU. Despite the fact that the scoreline says 50-38, the very tail end of that Slayer game was an absolute stompage in favor of BCU. Fireteam Leeds, they were able to keep things competitive as much as they could throughout the early and mid game, but suddenly something fell apart for Fireteam Leeds, and they just couldn't quite perform.
Yeah, I think it has to do a couple of times with the camo in the middle. Just BCU so effective at dealing with that camo, and especially when you have someone like Patotally, who I think ended up with 31 or 32 kill participations. That's just the amount of damage that guy was doing was outrageous. So to have someone like that able to kind of just rip the game away from Leeds, because it was close, man, like 35-33, 36-34, and then they just pulled away right at the end. The crazy part is it was 35-33. BCU got 15 kills, and Leeds got 5.
Yeah.
That's how much they got dominated right at the end, and you saw it so many times that BCU had 3 alive, 4 alive in this pack, just hunting Leeds, and Do Not Define Me. It's like, okay, great. I found 3 of them, but I'm by myself. So I guess I'm going to just try and trade, which he did, but
Hmm.
that's great for BCU. They'll take that trade any day of the week. So,
Yep.
yeah, we're going to go on to game number 3. It is going to be CTF on the pit. Can BCU avenge their second place from winter? Can they close this game out in 3 and take the victory? Or will Leeds do a reverse sweep and get the broom out? Get the reverse sweep going. It's going to be CTF on pit. I'm excited.
I'm just thinking, like, a reverse sweep. You get the broom out. You're kind of like also doing a moonwalk as you're kind of like sweeping the floor.
It's
That's
true.
probably in my mind that is the only logical sense to be doing a reverse sweep. But yeah,
I guess you're like pulling it towards you instead of like sweeping away.
yeah, no,
I don't know.
you'd be pulling everything
You're like-
towards you. Yeah, you're kind of just you're basically,
As you can tell,
yeah,
I sweep a lot.
you do sweep a lot. See, I'm a vacuum kind of person. I don't sweep.
I'm also a vacuum, but vacuum doesn't work. That's not how this works. You can't like, yeah, they vacuumed up the opposition. It's not quite the same.
There is a word. There is a word. Come on, we both speak English as our first language. There has to be a word to make vacuum work as this kind of as this metaphor. What is it? I don't know.
They've hoovered up the opposition.
That just sounds
No,
so weird. No, they've hoovered up the opposition. That can't be it. They definitely not sucked up the opposition either. That's
No.
That's
No.
That's a big no.
But also like it's a reverse sweep, so like a reverse, but it's like a leaf blower. Have they like
Yeah,
leaf
potentially.
blowered the other team? I don't know. We're just going to stick with sweep. We are going to move to CTF pit, and we're going to see we're going to see what can be done. A salty ice pack. Oh, that's a great kill from Navith. But who gets the spanker? It is of course Patodoli, who is going to go down to a back smack. There is an OS. Oh my god, BCU got the spanker and the OS? Come on,
Yeah.
Leeds, what are you doing?
It's utter chaos in towards the middle of the map, and as the dust starts to settle, one flag has already been pulled by Fire Team Leeds. Navith is just, well, basically playing Ring Around the Rosie, and finally chases down Fifi and smacks them down to get a flag return off as well. And there's the second melee kill as well into Spartan Spy. Brilliant stuff coming out from Navith is right over there playing the team game. Just being the best defender known to man for the time being, as Fifi's has their shields completely stripped down, trying to relocate and re-aggress, but nothing to be found as BCU. They've completely died out, and they've lost out on the S7 as well. That's over towards, well, Terminal in the hands of Fifi. Question is, what can be done with it?
Yeah, and you can see actually that Shots Vulture is in a real awkward position. Seeing the great thing is he found 3 people. Oh my god. Actually not able to use that sniper. Shots Vulture is only 0 and 1, so at least effectively playing their life. But yeah, no touches of the flag after a minute and a half. Everyone just kind of playing around where they are. Having said that, of course, Spartan Spy about to pick up the flag, but Leeds going 3 dead. This flag's going to get returned, and Navith's going to pick up the heat wave. Let's see what they can do with it. But yeah, Fire Team Leeds, first crack at the flag, first touch. Do get absolutely destroyed though, and BCU, they're going to easily claim that flag. Ninja!
Bro, no way. No way you're able to get that one off. It ain't happening.
Good attempt.
Yeah,
Good
A for
attempt.
effort, F for execution, unfortunately enough. Salty Ice Pack able to claim control of this mid-control panel area, but soon to be stripped away from them as Halo 2 comes on for that cleanup right there. And now Fire Team Leeds back inside of spawn. They know that, well, a lot of aggro and a lot of presence is on the way, but they've got to actually start moving up because they don't have control of that spanker, potentially of that overshield down below, but this rocket launcher is going to go into the hands of BCU, whichever way you slice it.
Yeah, and BCU doing a great job of just controlling, like you said, controlling where this map is. Sniper's going to be up soon. I want to see a couple more people going down, but the flag is going to be taken by Spartan again, getting in there. He also has OS, so that's going to go down. Do Not Defy Me is going to go down as well. The Spartan here, 3 and 5, has 2 touches of this flag, whiffs that jump, and is actually going to go down to Halo 2. That is great work from her. 6 and 2. Both flags were pulled. Both flags going to get returned. We're going to stay at 0-all. And we've already had 3.5 minutes, and these flags have barely gone anywhere, Tudor.
Yeah, I mean, for our team,
great work.
That was already, I think, the third pull that they were able to, at the very least, try to force into existence, but it barely even made it out of BCU's spawn and home base all 3 of those times as well. I think at most they were able to carry that flag a whopping 15 meters at most. Not exactly the kind of result that you were expecting, but another flagpole coming on through, this time for BCU on top of that, and they're going to try to shut off this entire alleyway lane instead to try to carry it home into safety. Brilliant stuff coming on through so far, and Fireteam leads nowhere close enough to actually respond. It should be a free cap by the looks of things, almost. Let's see if Vulture can get it just around the corner. Yes, they do, but immediately shut back down by Do Not Defy Me coming in for the rescue.
Yeah, Do Not Defy Me doing some great work there. Needs to get that kill, does. Is going to plasma the flag. But I think
it's been picked up again, and Patoli is going to provide coverage right over here. That's Do Not Defy Me completely dead. But guess what? BCU have flooded the home base on top of that just to secure in that first flag cap. Fireteam leads. They tried to meet them in their spawn on that red flag, but it just didn't really work out whatsoever. So BCU, on the second time being the charm, it does work out for them. They get themselves that first point.
Yeah, great flag cap. That was such good team play that Patoli getting a double kill, and then even though he got traded, you saw Do Not Defy Me back with the back smack to stop the flag. It is going to be the Rockets for Shots Vulture. Behind your shots, they're behind you. He's going to get the hint. Although 3 down for Fireteam leads.
That's a free
flag is going to be taken. Of course, it's Spartan Spy. Who else is it going to be? He is going to come around, though. I was going to say he's going to get a rocket in the face, but actually, he is not because the rockets are used. And that is such great defense from Shots Vulture. 2 rocket kills and an assist.
Yeah.
And yeah, just solid.
Solid flag return coming on through from BCU as well to truly keep this Fireteam lead side at bay and halt any and all kind of progression. Sniper rifle. Oh, that is the wrong moment to pick up a flag, Novice, but somehow he makes it work. I don't know how. He just kind of impales Fifi in the face with that. Question marks all around for me at the very least, but hell, it did kind of work out as a fancy way to get yourself a frag right there as Patoli is waiting for those shields to come back up. Nice little perfect kill being dropped out. Fifi sent back to the respawn screen, and Do Not Defy Me with that S7 is, narrowly going to dodge that charged plasma shot, just narrowly zooming by their melon right there, but Patoli's days 100% numbered as they will be cleaned up. That should have been a connection. Hello,
what?
Do Not Defy Me. Shots Vulture. Well, he's not long for this world either. And look at this coming out from Do Not Defy Me. The mobility, the shots, although only one of them is connected. So far, looking pretty good.
Yeah, and a couple of members for Fireteam leads up and around this flag. However, it's not going to be long. The flag is not going to be long as Halo 2. She says, "You're not leaving with my flag," and she's going to get a double kill. But all members of BCU contributing here. Shots Vulture, even though he's lagging behind in the kills, does have the OBJ cap.
How?
But yeah, it's...
Wow.
It's really Do Not Defy Me here. Like, he has essentially the same amount of kills. In fact, more kills... No, the same amount of kills. I can do maths. The same amount of kills as the rest of his team combined. And Fifi is 2-11. And when you're constantly playing a 2v5... A 2v4, sorry, a 3v4, that's what I wanted to say, we're not playing CSGO. When you're constantly playing a 3v4, it's always going to be a little hard. Spartan is going to find that spanker and get a kill and a half, and is once again going to try go for this flag. But Spartan has really been the offense. He's had 3 or 4 flag taps.
Yeah.
Whereas for BCU... they don't get that many flag taps, but they've managed to convert quite handily so far.
Indeed they have. Let's see if the spanker finds a connection right over there. Oh, it looked as if like that was actually direct impact onto Halo 2, but just narrowly misses out, unfortunately enough. BCU now left to one sole survivor, so this is the optimal moment for Fireteam Leeds to start to work their way in and grab what would be their fourth, if not fifth flagpole so far, and it might actually be successful this time around. But as I say that, a quick response coming on through from Shots Vulture on top of that. Spartan Spy trying to rectify the situation, but once again, it's that same old story for Fireteam Leeds. They have so many damn flagpoles, but they can't move it more than 10 meters past the base.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the BCU defense, and the thing that Leeds have that I would love to see is that they get 3 of BCU dead, and then they immediately try to go for the flag. And what you'll see pro teams do is they won't grab the flag then. What they'll do is they will try and go either high or low. They'll push the spawn from BCU into one area, get those kills again, like re-kill them all over again, and then pull the flag.
Yep.
Because what you're doing is you're getting 3 kills, and by the time you've got to the flag, actually BCU just come back alive again, and then the whole thing is just completely pointless. So, yeah, it's really tough. Beautiful kill.
Oh.
It's it's just really difficult for Leeds at the moment. You just got to not try and grab that flag, because as you said, they've grabbed it like 6, 7, 8 times. So that's going to get someone yeeted over the edge, I think.
Yep.
Or
100%.
not quite, actually. Oh, yeah, no. Shots Vulture is going to fly off the edge. There's 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, there's only 2 minutes to go for Fireteam Leeds to try to tie things up and keep the series alive and not lose out on the grand final in a 3-0 fashion. Novith start working their way down over towards that overshield. It should be 100% free, and no, going down with the ship and denying that luxury of an overshield to Fireteam Leeds. So yeah, they're not entirely going to be too happy about that, but BCU, they're more than satisfied with the outcome. But Fireteam Leeds are going to start re-aggressing towards this flag. And to touch on what you mentioned a little bit earlier, Fireteam Leeds, after they actually clear out this home base, they just need to take a breather before they start refragging and re-clearing things out, because if they pull out the flag, then, you get really, really excited when you actually have that team wipe and you just want to go for a flag pull, but it never works out. You really need to be a little bit more patient with it, as totally smacks down a double right there, left on literally 1 HP, and just continues to rip and tear their way through as they hit 20.
But totally with the overkill as well. That is nuts. Totally getting the overkill, and with 1 minute left, that might have secured the grand final of spring for BCU, because sending all 4 members of Leeds back to the respawn screen, and look how aggressive BCU are on this high side. They want to make sure that none of Leeds get out of this base. Navith's going to get a double, but totally finds one as well. It's now just Spartan Spy. And what I love from here is that BCU, it's not even about stealing this flag. It's about denying Leeds the opportunity to cap it. Yeah. It's not even about the 2-0. It's just making sure that it can't even go to 1-1. And that totally overkill may have sealed it, but this run from Halo 2, she should be able to score this unless a miracle occurs. She does take some damage, but she is going to score. And you'd have to say, with 13 seconds to go, that is going to be BCU being your Spring Series 2023 playoff champs. As we count down the last 1 second, it's going to be BCU. It's going to be 3-0. And Halo 2, Navith, Patotally, and Shots Vulture are going to take the crown. And I tell you what, that was a brutal performance over Fireteam Leeds. Take nothing away, but BCU are your champs. What a final.
What a final. Congratulations to BCU. They are officially 6 games to 0, having taken down Fireteam Leeds once in the upper bracket final, and just now once again in the grand final, denying them the luxury of just having anything to say in that entire affair, let alone actually push it all the way towards a grand finals reset. So the redemption story for BCU, it has been realized. Second in the winter series, and now they get to don that crown themselves. GG's to them, and commiserations to the side of Fireteam Leeds. Unfortunately, they did give it their all over over the course of the lower bracket final as well, and just in that grand final, but it really wasn't. They really couldn't shut down Totally, Halo 2, but most importantly enough, nobody aside from Do Not Define Me really had that much of a say in the conversation on top of that, and that was one of the most defining aspects for Fireteam Leeds' overall performance. The fact that it didn't seem as cohesive as the match that we just saw an hour or two earlier versus Durham Defenders, where everyone was chiming in for Leeds.
Yeah, and BCU just 3-0ing Soton Stags, 3-0ing Fireteam Leeds, and then 3-0ing Fireteam Leeds again. Did not drop a map in this final series. And yeah, truly, honestly, was just outstanding. But totally got to be the MVP. Just that overkill right at the end to secure map number 3. But just was a dominating force throughout. Awesome to see. Yeah, guys, that is going to be it for us for UHL Spring 2023. I've been Captain James Force. I've been here with Tudor. BCU are your champs. We will see you hopefully for summer. But in the meantime, stay frosty out there, and we will catch you next time. Peace out.